other.
Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday. Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand.
I've spent the last couple days decorating after Thanksgiving, and the only other thing I need to do is add a wreath. But we have a storm door and this is mesh, so I think I'm just gonna put it right here.
Branches left over from the Christmas tree if you want to try and make a wreath.
Yeah, we should do that. Save them for me. Do y'all see how much firewood that we've tackled over the past couple days? Got those 2 big trees out of here, and then we've just really been trying to stock up on firewood. We kind of got lucky this year because even though we really didn't prep a whole bunch for firewood, there's been a ton of dead trees that have been laying and have been drying out, so it's kind of been a 50-50. A majority of our wood has been primarily dry, but we are starting to run out, so we've been trying to collect and process as much wood as we can so we can keep our house warm. And with this, we're noticing a huge termite problem. We were doing a little bit of research, and apparently if you don't have ants, you probably have termites, and we don't have a single ant on this property that we've noticed, but we do have a crap ton of termites. And so we've been looking at some natural methods and try to deter them away from all of our trees, because we have this poor tree over here that has just been brutally attacked by termites. And so Cody and I have been looking at methods online, but we are always open for suggestions, so leave yours in the comments. Hey y'all, I wanted to take a quick second to tell you about my go-to therapy service, and one that we have worked with a ton in the past, BetterHelp. And thank you BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. You can tap into a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help in a wide range of issues. You just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences, and then BetterHelp matches you with a therapist within their network that fits best for you. You can even do this through text, phone, video call, whatever you're comfortable with. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. And if for whatever reason your therapist just isn't right for you, you can switch therapists at no additional charge. BetterHelp gives you that same professionalism and quality of service that you would expect from in-office therapy, but at your convenience and is more affordable. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/can'tcontainas, and all of that is going to be linked in the description. Thank you BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to it. With it being our first full winter in the container house, we've been really trying to pay attention to our water. Making sure our pipes don't freeze is a huge deal to us, and making sure that our water is good quality is also really important, especially since our primary source.
We've had a lot of days in the 20s, and we've actually had a few mornings where the pond was completely frozen over and our water's still been perfectly fine. We made sure to keep our water lines buried deep enough in the ground as well as deep enough in the water that whenever the pond does freeze over, the ice won't get anywhere near where the actual water pickup is. So there will be still a good couple feet of space in between where the water suction is and where the ice on the pond would be. So even if the pond does freeze over, it's still okay, but we're also able to turn on our fountain to help prevent it from freezing if we don't want it to freeze over. So
yeah, just keeping the water circulating is really important if we happen to be in a point that we are kind of worried, but we haven't had that issue so far.
And the couple mornings that it did freeze over, I just turned on the fountain in the morning and it was all thawed in like 30 minutes. So it's been doing pretty good. It is a little bit low right now. We could use some rain for sure.
If you're curious how we did our water lines, I will add that video somewhere right here. Someone asked us the other day if we ended up putting a duck house on the pond, and no, we aren't, just simply because our water is our primary source, like we said, but they do like to have fun in the big pond, so we let them have supervised swims quite often. They enjoy it. It's very hard to get them out, so that's going to be fun later. We finished the bedroom, we moved the sawmill, and that's primarily where we've been focusing our attention. With Thanksgiving, life got very chaotic, very quick, and so we've really just tried to focus in on what our goals are starting with the new year and all the projects that we want to accomplish. We figure we are long overdue for a Q&A, and we got a ton of good questions in. Let's answer some. I'm gonna kind of give you all an overview of the projects that we're going to do coming into the new year, but one of the main questions that we've seen quite frequently is about the siding. So SST says, when are you boxing in around the bottom of your shipping container home? Sending love from Dublin. Dublin, that's so freaking cool. This is a project that we want to work on here in the next few weeks, and I know that we've said that, but as things go, when you start a project, you realize that there's 10 other projects that need to happen within that one project. So
after removing the sawmill, we still need to do a couple upgrades to it. We need to finish our wood drying area, which that's another thing I was going to say. After we started cutting wood, we ran out of a place to put it really quick. As soon as we get it all cut, we'll start putting it all up.
If you aren't familiar with our channel and our Q&As, we don't just stay in one spot. So I want to touch on this, but let's head to the sawmill. Now that the sawmill's moved, we can really utilize this space up here and dedicate it. So down there, we were super cramped. It's on the edge of a kind of a hill. It was just not the best area, but we didn't know that at the time. We've set this area up over here, which y'all saw in last week's video. There's still a ton more that we need to do to it, but mostly we were just waiting to go into town to get supplies. So this is where we're focusing our attention because utilizing the wood on the property is super, super important.
Being that this was all woods whenever we bought it, we knew we were going to have to cut trees down wherever we were going to put the house at. So we wanted to make sure that none of that wood went to waste. And we knew that it's a lot more valuable than just being firewood. So that's why buying a sawmill was one of our first goals whenever we got the property.
Some people were like, that's kind of a splurge item. And to us, no, it's a necessity. What are we going to do with all these trees? Nobody wanted to take them. They're much more valuable than that. So whereas some people see it as a splurge, we see it as a necessity that's going to be super, super fruitful for our property. Right now we have all of it stacked up here on the mill because the mill was obviously just moved, so she's not really being used right now. And it's the most level spot. So we are working on this drying area, and then all of that will be moved over here, and we will have a full functioning lumber mill lumber mill, very mini, but it's gonna be great. I'm very excited.
We don't have the comment pulled up for this, but I thought about it just a second ago, so I'll have Summer try and find it and add it like right here somewhere. Can you do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, it'll be like right here,
okay,
but
right
yeah.
here then. But somebody asked us the other day, well, why didn't we just pour a slab for our sawmill? And the main reason is that would have been a lot of concrete. We built it as a trailer, so it's meant to be moved. We didn't want to marry it to one spot individually on the property because I'm indecisive and I don't know exactly where I want it to go at permanently anyway. Where the jacks are just stabilizers for the mill to help support the weight of the logs. So it's not necessarily a necessity, I would say.
Come on, baby. On to the next one.
Let's go. Wait, where are we going?
Over here.
Okay.
I'm about to own up to something right now, okay? My greenhouse is very sad. She's very dead. She's very not in working condition. Listen, we got really busy and she just kind of got swept under the rug. Not a lot of love, not a lot of attention. Cody and I have made a pact that before spring starts, we're gonna get her up and running. There's a ton of things that we wanna do, but yeah, I'm just being honest. The greenhouse, she's not looking good.
Well, the greenhouse looks good. Everything inside it is just dead.
Everything inside is just destroyed. However, compost is going great, okay? This is something that I have been able to keep up with, okay? Look, we have a lot of stuff on our plate. Bear with us.
I even forgot to bring the aloe plant inside. We really messed up this year.
I asked for questions on both Instagram and YouTube, and this one happens to be on Instagram. ScratchDog81 says, when are you going to build a solar house? I think that you should look up battery hookup sites. If by solar house you mean like an area for the battery storage and inverter storage and all that stuff, sorry, something's moving in the woods over there. But if you mean a place for like batteries and the inverter and all that, I think that's like third on the list right now, and Summer's gonna go over her list later. But we plan on where we're gonna be adding our stairs on the side of the house is where we're gonna be building our solar house at. It should be here within the next month. Being that our winter is about to be coming up and we're actually gonna be upgrading our batteries here pretty soon, it's gonna be a necessity here pretty soon. As you can see, we have 4 solar panels sitting on the ground over there. I know that we've had some questions about those in the past, and mostly we don't have enough to build a whole nother one of these. So as soon as we get a few more and we have enough to build a whole nother mount, then that's what we'll do. But for now, they are hooked up, they are being utilized, they do get sun, but yeah, they're just sitting there for the time being. We're just trying to add to the collection and then we'll build a whole nother mount for it. We painted the entire container house except for this side. It is the side that faces the road, so since the trees are all dead right now, it's the only side of the container house that you can actually see, and she's quite ugly. I don't care. But we are going to fix it. That's where we're going to put our solar house. That's the whole reason we didn't paint it. It's because it's going to be enclosed. So she needs a little bit of prep work, as well as these are the stairs that my parents brought us. If you remember when my parents came into town, I'll add that video here.
This is my mama. Hi, mama. Hi.
Nitro.
This is my daddy. Say hi, daddy.
12-foot staircase, handrail staircase, so they can hook on their home and walk up on top of the house safely.
Yes. So we're super, super, super excited. Thank you, daddy. It's galvanized steel, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
It lasts forever. Run some self-tapping bolts or something.
Okay.
They brought us these wonderful stairs. They need a little bit of love, they need to be welded, but that's a huge project, and Cody and I have a ton of other stuff on our plate, so she's on the list, but we will get there. This question in 2 different ways, so I'll show both of them. Bowie Jeffries says, do you plan on being here for life, or do you want to do this move again one day in the future to maybe a bigger property, etc.? And then on Instagram, TJIBYNN, I don't know how to pronounce that, so that's what we're gonna leave it as. How do you see your life in 5 years? Greetings from Sweden. So cool. I love it when I see people from other countries. I think that's just the coolest thing ever. So, we don't know. We are ever indecisive. We came out here, bought this property, wanted to build, and this to be it. We wanted this to be forever, but you know, obviously if you've been here a while, you know that we were hit with a lot of difficulties when it comes to the surrounding area and the people that live here, and it's not been the most pleasant, to be honest. Do we want to live here forever? I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I definitely love the property, and
yeah.
I can pretty confidently say we'll definitely never get rid of it.
Oh, we will never sell it, that's for sure. Having 20 acres will say that we thought we weren't going to be that close to people, and when you realize in the grand scheme of things, nope, you're very close to people.
Yeah, I'd like to be a little bit farther away from people, so yeah, we'll probably never get rid of this property, but who knows, eventually in the future we may end up buying a bigger property so we can be a little more secluded and building a house there. I mean, we just never really know. Where we can say we'd like to be here in 5 years, in 5 years we may have a different opinion of where we want to be, so. For
sure. We've looked into Arkansas, we've looked into Costa Rica, we've looked into going back to Texas, we've looked into so many different places. We are forever changing our minds on the kind of style of home that we want or where we want to end up, but I think that's the beauty of it, is
not knowing where you're gonna be. Yeah.
We're definitely building this house as a forever house and to be completely self-sustainable, and we don't know how long we're gonna be here, but if we end up staying here and building another house, this is the lot that it'll be on. This is the second lot that we purchased whenever we bought the lot that's in front of us, which is what the house is on. We knew that we could not build 2 houses on one lot, and so if we wanted to build a second house and make the container house the mother-in-law suite, then we had to buy a second lot. I contacted the people that owned this one and said, hi, y'all are never out here from what we see. Can I buy this from you? And they said yes, they were so nice. That's how we acquired that, and yeah, it's just a little 4-acre lot, super cute. Not a whole lot's on it, and maybe a house one day. We'll see.
It's just a big valley. I've honestly thought about building a dam at the end of the valley and just making the whole property a pond or a lake, but so many ideas, so many options.
They used it for like Nerf gun wars for their son, which I thought was wild.
Airsoft.
Like, airsoft, yeah, which I thought was just wild. How fun.
Let's take a break and go retrieve some ducks. As we are a solar household, we keep our boat charged with a solar panel. After you. Easiest way to push us off.
Hi, boys. Did you have a good time?
Get out the water. Thank you.
Paddle gets them every time. For visiting the Splash Park, we hope you enjoyed your stay. Please come again. Matt Norris 92 says, ballpark, what do y'all have invested into your homestead? Oof.
So anything that is anything is in this book. And quite frankly, I'm a little scared of this book. No, I'm just kidding. We are going to add up every single receipt, every single invoice, everything that we've spent on the property is in here. We're gonna add it all up and tell ourselves the total cost, tell you all the total cost, but from what we've gathered, we're thinking, what, 45 grand?
Yeah, probably somewhere around there.
45 grand in just the homestead. That's not including the land. We bought this 15-acre property for 75. We bought the other 4-point-something acre property, which equals out to 20 acres in total, for 25. We spent a little bit more on that one just because the ball was in their park.
A little more per acre. But yeah, we're in 20 acres for about 100 grand. and then probably about 40 to 50 in all the improvements we put into it, as far as like the house and the foundation for the storage building and building the lagoon.
Both are foundations, septic,
Yeah, and we did
solar.
buy a tractor too. That's probably not included in that price, but whenever we add up all the receipts, we can add that into
that
and
in.
see what that would be. But Kubota actually had 0% interest financing on the tractor, so I think it was like 17 grand for the tractor, something like that, and there's no interest on it forever.
And we
so.
were spending more and renting equipment than it would have been.
Oh
we
yeah,
would've
if you
just-
rent a Bobcat for a day, it's at least $300. So
it was worth it to us to get
and that's
that
what the tractor payment is a month. So it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially when you're buying a lot of land like this, you're always going to have stuff to move. You're always going to need a tractor. So I think if you own at least more than 5 acres, it's kind of a necessity, honestly.
Cody and I are super transparent people. If y'all haven't realized that now, we will answer any question and really just talk about anything. So we do not plan on hiding how much we've cost. We want to tell y'all it's very important for people to understand that this is doable if it's something that you really want to achieve. So, and it doesn't cost a whole lot of money. Yeah, we will give y'all the entire full cost, but that's about what we're thinking for right now. So stay tuned for that in the future.
There's your ballpark. You want to read this one? Leslie Snowden, I like the last name. Leslie Snowden says, how does living at home compare with what you expected, and what would you do differently other than the front and back door switch? Love you too, you were so sweet together. It's a big difference from living in the city. It's definitely a lot slower, and we definitely enjoy that a lot. Less stressful. It's nice change of pace.
Do we work a lot more? Oh my gosh, yes.
I work more now than I ever have.
Splitting wood alone to keep your house warm, that puts in some hours, and then building fences and moving sawmills and doing sawmill work and working on filters and taking care of the ducks and the dogs and just all of it together. Yeah, it's a ton of work, but would we trade it for anything? Absolutely not. It has been the most fulfilling thing in the entire world.
Wouldn't have life any other way.
Yeah, so super happy with it, and yeah, exceeded expectations, I'd say, for sure.
And that brings us to our very last question, which I don't have my phone like I thought I did. Our favorite YouTubers asked, who's your favorite YouTube channel to watch? So that would be Cajun Country Living. They are our YouTube besties. So they kind of took us under their wing whenever we started YouTube, because they had started before us, and they're freaking amazing, and they have their stuff together for sure. So Lydia has taught me a lot. Jim is so sweet, and
Yeah, they're practically sisters at this point.
I
They're
know.
FaceTiming every day.
we literally FaceTime every
10 times a
single
day. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, honestly.
And
but-
they got us our very first camera bag ever. So they're our besties. We love them. We talk to them on a daily basis. And yeah, so that's
y'all
who our
don't-
favorite YouTube
Yeah,
channel
and if
is.
y'all don't watch them, definitely go check them out.
I think that's going to be it. We have a bunch of projects, so let me go through the list. This is the order into which I see things in my brain. We have the sawmill moved. We need to finish it. There's not much more to do to it, mostly just the drying rack. Once that's done, we're going to start popping out wood and finishing the siding. I want to work on the fence for the dogs. I want my dogs to be able to run. They've been on leads for so long. I'm so tired of it. I want them to be able to run. So
But there's no point in putting up a fence when there's a big hole under the
in your
house that they could just get
Yeah,
right through.
so-
So obviously we need to get the siding done first, then work on the fence, and then it's kind of up in the air. Oh, no, our solar.
Yeah, I think
Our solar.
we're gonna work on the solar after that and get that whole thing going and getting the whole solar room and all of that up and going. By that time, we'll be hitting around spring, so we'll start working on the greenhouse and the garden and getting all of that together. And or you know us, we'll probably get bored about something in between then and want to work on the kitchen or something like that.
With it being winter, there's some projects outside that we need to do that we're not able to do during the summer, kind of vice versa with summer and winter. The leaves are off the trees, there's not really any bugs out, you're able to actually walk through the forest. Now is a perfect time for us to be working on our perimeter fence that we still haven't finished in a couple areas, so we've been doing that a little bit, and then we've also been trying to trim some trees around the trees that we want to grow, so just kind of clean stuff up and work through the forest a little bit. And then we've also been trying to collect a lot of the fallen trees that are on the ground. Like Summer mentioned earlier, we've noticed that we have a termite problem on the property, so with trying to combat that, we want to make sure we don't have a ton of wood just sitting on the ground in the dirt. collecting moisture because that's what termites love the most. We've been trying to get all those trees picked up as much as we can and do stuff like that before all the leaves come back and we can't get to it anymore.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of a insight as to what to expect in the next couple months and moving into the next year. And like I said, we do get bored quite often, so we will definitely be working on the inside of the house in between there and tackling little inside projects, the bathroom, the kitchen, and stuff like that. If you're into all of that and enjoy it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see y'all in a couple days. We're gonna try to get back to our normal schedule. I know that like we get on our normal schedule and then we get off of it and then we get back on our normal schedule. No, we're getting back on our normal schedule. It's just been chaotic with Thanksgiving and all of that. So we're back, but hope you enjoyed the Q&A.
Bye.
Bye.